What is up, everybody? Welcome to VogelStang. Thanks for tuning into this video. Today I'm going to show you how I installed my Steeda Functional Race Wing, and I already did install it previously. If you follow my Instagram account, you know that I've had this wing on for a few months now, but it's time to show you guys just how I installed it. Okay, so tools you're going to need for this installation are 1/4 inch ratchet, 1/4 inch extension, 11mm socket, 5/64 drill bit for the pilot hole, 11/32 drill bit to drill the hole where the bolt goes through, a 3/4 inch drill bit. Now this drill bit is for the bolts. Actually, I'm going to get back to that in a second. 4mm Allen key. Blue masking tape. Yes, it has to be blue. Only blue will work. No, I'm just kidding. You could use any masking tape you want. Double-sided 3M tape. And if you're going to be drilling things, obviously you need a drill gun. Most likely. I don't know what you guys do out there, but I use the drill gun for my drill bits. Steeda provides some plastic alignment pieces that will aid you in getting the holes drilled in the right spot, and 4 11mm bolts to fasten down the wing. So back to the 3/4 inch drill bit. So this is for the underside of the trunk. So the trunk has 2 layers. It has a top side and an underside layer. So this is to drill into the underside layer. So where the bolts go through, you need to be able to get the bolts through the bottom layer plus the socket to fit inside there. So 3/4 inch is what I would think is the smallest you'd want to go. It just barely makes it in there. You can go bigger if you want. You can go up to an inch, 1.25 inches if you have a hole saw or something like that. I chose the 3/4 inch because it was just enough, and I like using a drill bit better than a hole saw. So that is what I did. Let's talk about the holes for a second. So these were the holes that were left over from my lip spoiler. It had 3 holes on the driver's side, just 3 holes similar to that on the passenger side, and there were some holes here in the center. So they luckily were covered up by, well, not luckily, intentionally covered up by the stripes. So these holes, these 2 holes right here, will be covered by the spoiler pedestal. This one is unused but gets covered. This one is used. This hole, unfortunately, does not get covered by the spoiler, and Steeda provides these plastic pins that you can insert into the hole. Now, it's not a great option. I don't really care for it, but it's better than a hole. It sits underneath the wing. I'll show you later once the wing is on. So it's not tremendously visible. I mean, you could definitely see it, but at least it's underneath the wing. First thing to do is to get the plastic piece that Steeda provides for aligning the hole, and take a piece of masking tape. Tape the masking tape to the bottom of the plastic piece and insert it into the bottom hole. So you have a little peg there, you just put that into the bottom hole. In the front hole, because the rear hole of the wing, again, if you had the factory lip spoiler, the rear hole will bolt up through the existing hole that's already there. So just tape that on the bottom. And I'm only going to do one side because I don't have to, since this was already done. But if you're doing this for the first time, duplicate this on the other side of the wing. Okay. Next step is to get the wing temporarily onto the trunk. So we're going to pop the trunk. And at this point, if you have somebody to help you, it would be, if you have somebody to help you, it would be a good idea. If not, you can manage this without help. If you find there's a sweet spot where it all balances and it doesn't fall. So you can do it by yourself. However, obviously there's a little risk involved with it sliding off the trunk. So first thing is line up the hole with the existing hole. So if you can see, you can see the existing hole. This is the existing hole, and I have the hole from the spoiler lined up perfectly there, so we can screw the bolt in. Now this other hole here, that other hole doesn't exist yet. That was the hole that gets drilled. So just take one of the provided bolts and screw it in place. And do the same thing on the other side. And we do want these bolts to be tight. Make sure they're tight. You don't want to leave them loose, because that may allow for the wing to move a little bit, and at this point we don't want any budging in the wing. So make sure that after you tighten these down, that the wing does not slide back and forth. There's no movement in the wing. There shouldn't be. Once you have both bolts in, you can let down the trunk a little bit, and we'll move to the next step, which is to take 2 pieces of masking tape, like so, and tape down plastic alignment piece that Steeda provides. Make sure it's on there good, because when we remove the wing, we don't want this moving at all. Make sure it's on there nice and tight, and again, repeat the process on the other side. Okay, once you have the tape in place, open up your trunk and remove the bolts. Okay, let down the trunk a little slowly, and just to be safe, I like to hold down the plastic piece, that way it doesn't move, and do the same thing on the other side, and take off the wing. Set the wing aside for now, and now we're left with the plastic piece properly positioned in the spot where you need to drill the hole. At this point, take your 5/64 drill bit, and it goes right into the little hole in there, and drill your pilot hole. Go through both layers of the trunk, the top layer and the bottom layer. So I drilled in, and I did the same thing on the other side. Once you have your pilot hole drilled, you can now remove this plastic piece. Grab your 11/32 drill bit, line it up with your pilot hole, and drill through both layers of the trunk. And do it on the other side as well. After you have that hole made, or those holes, both left and right, open up the trunk. Now you'll have your 11/32 hole on the bottom here, and at which point now you can take your 3/4 inch drill bit and line it up with the 11/32 hole and drill through. Now here's where you want to be careful. Make sure that you only go through the bottom layer. If you go through the top layer, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. So make sure you only go through the bottom layer. All right, and that will be it for drilling. Of course, again, I didn't say it, but you know to do it. Do it on the other side too. After that, what I suggest doing is taking your double-sided 3M tape and placing the tape on the bottom of the wing, on the pedestal. Let me put that here. So take your 3M tape and put it around the edges of the bottom of the pedestal. I'm not going to do that right now, simply because I have a wrap on here that I didn't do very well, and I'm practicing, learning. So it was my second try, and I didn't even finish the bottom because there was no point in finishing the bottom because the top didn't come out the way that I liked it. So I'm not going to put double-sided tape on here because I don't want to deal with the glue residue when I take it off to redo the wrap. But if you're putting yours on permanently, I would suggest the double-sided tape, because if you don't put the double-sided tape there, you can see a little bit of a gap where this meets the trunk. I'll show you guys when I put it back on. One other thing to note is after you're done drilling, you should probably take some clear coat and put it around the edges where we drilled. That way it'll protect from rust and chipping and things like that. All right, so now that all the holes are drilled, we can put the wing on again. Okay, and you want to find that sweet spot again, which is like right about there. And the holes are aligned perfectly already, so I got it on in the right spot first try. And go ahead and get that bolt started. That wasn't really started. It's like I'm at a bad angle. That's better. So at this point though, this time only don't screw them in all the way. You'll want there to be a little bit of play. So just get it in so it's in there like halfway, and then make your way over to the other side and insert that bolt. So the reason why we don't want to tighten it up yet is because you may need to shift this slightly left or slightly right depending on the other hole. All right, see, I got to shift it over to the right a little bit. There we go. And screw in your 11mm bolt. You can see why I got to redo this wrap. Oof. Okay. Let's get the final 2 bolts in the newly drilled holes. One over here. And come back over here. Okay, and let me show you the clearance. So I don't know how well you can see it, but so the socket just barely makes it in there. I mean, there's a good eighth of an inch gap, but I wouldn't want to go that much smaller. 3/4 of an inch I thought was perfect size for the hole. So now you want to go back and snug them down tight. Get your ratchet. Get them nice and snug. You don't have to over tighten them, but just nice and snug. And that's it. Put your trunk back down. The other thing is, now that if you get this wing, this sits back off of the trunk a lot, so there's a lot of weight to the back of the trunk now, so you don't want to slam the trunk down. I know before with just a lip spoiler, when I close the trunk, you know, I would actually push it down. Now it's, you kind of want to just get it to a point where it's close and just let go of it, and the weight of the wing will close it itself. So one other thing that I wanted to show you guys was the gap. Oh, one more thing I forgot to mention. So when you get the winglets are not attached to the wing, so they're just simple 4mm Allen key screws that you screw into the side of the wing. So simple enough, 4mm Allen key. All right, so the gap, let me see, are you gonna be able to see it? You can see the light passing through a little bit. So maybe on the other one a little bit better. You know what, I can't, oh, there you go. All right, you can see it. There's a little bit. So it's not bad. But once you put the 3M tape on the bottom, you're not even going to see that gap. It's going to be filled in. So the install really isn't hard at all. As you see, it goes pretty easily. It goes pretty quickly. Just don't rush it, especially the part where you drill the holes, because you want to make sure you get that right and in the right spot. I know I was pretty nervous doing it. You know, it's always scary drilling into you know, a brand new Mustang, or any Mustang for that matter. Just make sure that you take your time. I hope that this video helps you out if you're looking to see what's involved with installing it. I tried looking for some videos before I did my installation. I tried seeing if there were any videos out there for it, and I couldn't find anything. Maybe I just missed it, I don't know, but I couldn't find any. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more about what I'm going to be doing to this Mustang, please subscribe. I have more content coming. I have a lot of plans that I want to do. I have a big question for you guys too. I'm going to need some answers. So my next video, maybe next video, or I'm not sure, probably the next video, I got a big question that I'm going to need help on. So stay tuned, hit that subscribe button. See you guys next time.